uh, exam. So let me write, and we are going to start MCSA 2016, so which includes 70-740, 741, and 742. So we are going to cover up all these three exams in this series, and I'll upload one by one all modules. Okay, and I'll show you the lab as well. So my focus is on lab basically. Okay, so you'll get all lab practicals here. So today I'm going to start with the first topic, which is installing and configuring. So first of all, I'll start with the 70-740, and then 741, and then 742. So one by one, I'll upload all the videos. And the basic requirement for installing Windows Server 2016 is that is x64-bit processor you need. Okay, and CPU would be 1.4 gigahertz minimum or above than 1.4 gigahertz. And then RAM, you need minimum RAM, you need 512 MB recommended by Microsoft. Okay, and rest as per the rules and services or the features which you will install, the RAM will depend on those features and services. And disk space, you need 32 GB for installing Windows Server 2016. Okay, so we can install Windows Server 2016 with desktop experience or core server. So similar like our Windows Server 2012. Okay, so I'll show you with desktop experience as well, and I'll show you with core as well. So I'll show you how to manage core as well. Okay, so we will install both flavors. Now there is a new feature which is Nano, so which we will discuss later. Okay, so I'm going to start with installing and configuring Windows Server 2016, the first module. So I'll show you how to install and configure. Okay, so let me start my VMware workstation. So I'm going to create a new virtual machine. So I'll choose operating system later. This would be Windows Server 2016, and the name would be M116, and location would be let me choose the location. So this would be F. Okay, F:/VM. So this would be the location for my virtual machine. So I'm going with the default size which I'm getting here. Click on finish. Now, so memory is 2 GB, processor are 2. So I'm going with the default configuration. Now let me choose my ISO files. So click on CD and DVD and choose ISO file. Click on browse, and I'm going to use Windows Server 2016 here. Click on OK, and network directory right now I'm choosing here custom. Sorry, host only. Yep. So click on power on. So you need to press any key for booting with your CD or DVD. So installation is similar like Windows or other Windows operating systems like Windows 10, Windows 7, Windows Server 2012. Okay, so your language, you need to choose your language, then time and currency format, your keyboard. So I'm going with the default configuration. Click on next, then click on install now. So there are two additions, standard edition and data center edition. So there is some limitations, or if you are choosing standard edition, so I'm giving you some basic difference. So if you're choosing standard edition, so you would be able to create only 2 virtual machines. And if you have a cal of data center edition, so then you would be able to create unlimited virtual machines. Okay. And there is a difference between cores as well. So CPU cores, so and RAM as well, so which we will discuss later. So right now I'm going to choose Windows Server Data Center Edition. Okay. Now, if you're choosing Data Center Edition, so there are two options for installing your Windows Server. So one is desktop experience and another one is core. So if you will choose desktop, that means you will get a graphical user interface. Okay. And if you will choose the normal data center evaluation, so then you will get core server. Okay. So right now we are going with the desktop, and later we will install a core edition as well. So click on next. Now, so this is the user license, so user agreement license. So if you want, you can scroll up and you can read. So I'm going to accept that license. So user have to accept that license, then the user would be able to install Windows Server. So accept the license terms and click on next. Now, there are two options to install Windows Server 2016 if you are doing in-place upgradation. So that means you have your older version of server, Windows Server 2012. So, and you are upgrading your existing server to Windows Server 2016, then you will choose the first option when you want to keep your older files. Okay. If you are doing clean installation, then you will choose second option, which is custom. So right now we don't have any operating system existing server, so we are going with the clean installation. Click on custom. Now you will get your hard drive, so you can format your hard drive, you can create partitions from here your hard drive, or you can later create partitions as well. Okay. So right now I'm going with the default, and it will create only one partition, which will be maybe my C drive. Okay. So click on next. Now it will take almost 15 to 20 minutes, so I'm going to pause the video for 15 to 20 minutes, then we'll check the post installation, then I'll show you the post installation configuration. So guys, our server is installed. So let me show you. Yeah, that is ready. So we need to assign a password to our server, administrator password. Assign a password. Then now I'm going to sign in. So first of all, I'm going to, as I'm using Windows VMware Workstation. So for my graphics and for my drivers, what I'm going to do, I'm going to install VMware tools on that VM. So it will automatically fetch my drivers and my graphics of my base machine. Okay. So let me install that as well. So if you want to configure your server, so there's a utility which is known as server manager, which is pre-installed in your server. So through server manager you can manage, you can configure your server. So by default it will up when you will restart or when you will start your VM or your server, your physical server. So this will up, you will get by default uh, this page, server manager page. Okay. But still, if you are not getting, then you can search or you can click on start button, and from here you can click on server manager, or you can search for server manager. Okay. Or you can pin up to your desktop as well, your taskbar as well. So right click and pin to taskbar, so you will get server manager at taskbar as well. So I'm going to close it now. Click on server manager, so you will get your server manager at your taskbar as well. Okay, now in tools you will get some pre-installed services on the features or the roles which you will install in that server. So right now there is no role installed on that server. Okay, but if you will install any role or any feature, so that will comes into, you can open that to into from tools section. Okay, and if you want to install any roles and services, so there is option add roles and features, or you can click on manage, and from here you can click on add roles and features and remove roles and features. Even now you can add more servers if in your from your network. Okay, and you can see all these servers from all servers tab. Okay, so you can add your servers and then you can manage those servers. You can install roles and features, you can remove roles and features on those servers from this server. Okay, so right now there is no server added, we will add server later. Okay, now local server means we're talking about this server. Okay, so the computer name, if you want to change computer name, you will click on that option, click on change, and we give name like dc01. I'll install ADDS role on that server. Okay, so I'm giving name DC, so we'll start later. Now if you want to change the domain status, which is right now work group, if you want to add that machine into domain, so you will click on that option, and you can join your machine on domain as well. Okay, so right now restart is pending, so that's why we are not able to see that option. The option is grayed out. If you want to change your firewall status, you can change your firewall status from here. Okay, you want to change your IP address, so you can change IP address of that machine from here. So that is our LAN card which is attached to our VM. So just go and change your IP address from here. I'm going to change 10.0.0.1, and this would be my DNS as well. Click on close. So updates, so if you want to check updates, you will click on this option. So you will get the new updates and you can install those updates. Okay, and your time zone, okay, you can change your time zone from here as well. You can activate your server from here. So right now it is not activated, so if you have keys, so you will enter those keys here and your server would be activated after that. So now manage, add roles and features, so click on next. Now there are two kinds of option: role based and feature based installations, and remote desktop service installation. So if you want to allow someone to access some applications through remote desktop services, or remote desktop, you want to provide some remote desktop, some remote applications, so you will use that option, the second option. Okay, if you're going to install any server, any role, any feature, so you will choose first option. So let's select first option, click on next. So we have only one server. If there would be a multiple server in your server list, so you will get all these servers here. Okay, and then you have to choose the server where you want to install your roles and feature. So right now we have only one server. Click on next. So these are the roles which are available, so you can select any role. Okay, and you can install any role. So we'll see later how to install and configure those roles. Click on next. These are the features. So when you will select any role, so there are some dependencies on those roles as a features, so which you will get a pop-up and you have to add those features. Okay, sometimes you have to only install the features, so at that time you will only choose the feature here. Okay, so these are the features which are available. So these are the list of features which you can install. So from here you can install your roles and features. Now, so that is all about the desktop. Okay, this is the basic and the post installation task. I'm going to restart my server just because that is required for my VM. Why? Just because I have changed the name of my VM. I have installed VMware workstation tool on that VM, so that's why it is required. Now let me show you this. So I'm going to install one more server, which would be my core server. Let me show you that also. So core 16. Location would be FVM. So for my core server, I'm going to use only 1 GB RAM, and network adapter would be host only, and image I'm going to browse. Now power on your virtual machine. Press any key. Second, click on next. Install now. So even you can convert your graphical server into core server and your core server into graphical. That is also possible. So I'm going to install core server data center. License. Next. Custom installation. Next. So you can see we have restarted our server. So when you click on local server, so you'll get the name here, which is DC01, which we have changed. You will get your IP address, which is 10.0.0.1. Okay. So, and that is the configuration of my base machine. So that is the configuration of my VM. Okay. So that is my processor and my RAM, which is assigned to that VM, and the disk space. So core server will take a few minutes. So I'm going to pause that video for a few minutes, and then we'll see how to configure core server as well. So welcome back, guys. So our server is going to be ready, core server. So till then, what I'm going to do, I'm going to install ADDS role on my main machine. Okay, the first VM. So add roles and features. Next. So we have to select here active directory domain services, and we are going to install a domain role, and then this server will become a domain controller. So for doing that, we have to install active directory domain services role. So click on next. So there would be few dependencies which will install automatically along with this role. So click on next, next, restart the server, just because restart is required after configuration of ADDS. So click on install, and our core server is also ready. So we have to provide a password here. The password is changed. Now we are logging to our core server. So for managing core server, there is a utility which is sconfig. So you can type here sconfig, and then you can change, or you can set up your initial configuration of your server. So let me show you. If you want to add this server to a domain controller, which we will do later, or if you want to change the name, so yes, I want to change the name, so I need to press here 2. So enter a new computer name. So I'm going to type here co1 and press enter, and this will restart your core server. So let's restart it. We have to enter password. Now again sconfig, and our server name is changed, which is core 1. Now I'm going to change my IP address of a server. So press 8 for network settings. Okay, select your network adapter, which is 0. Set network adapter address. So address would be static. So for static, we have to press S. And now we have to enter our static address, which would be 10.0.0.2. Subnet mask would be 255.0.0.0. Default gateway I'm leaving blank. So now address is done. Set DNS server name. So press 2. Enter new preferred DNS server, which would be 10.0.0.1 in my case. Okay. Alternate DNS we don't have. And okay. Now press 4 for returning and 15 for exit. Now type ipconfig or verifying your configuration. So your IP address is 10.2 and your DNS is 10.1. Okay, so that is okay. Now we need to check. Yeah, so the domain role is installed. Now we have to promote. That means we have to configure our ADDS services. So click on promote this server to a domain controller. So there are three options which we will discuss later in Active Directory session. So right now we are going to set up this as a new server, new domain controller. So we have to choose the third option, which is add a new forest, and my domain name would be itengineers.com. Click on next. Now forest functional level, domain functional level, everything we will discuss in our Active Directory chapter. Okay, so when you will install a fresh domain controller, it needs a DNS server as well, so which will install along with this. Okay, if there would be any DNS server, existing DNS server, so you can uncheck that option. Okay, so I don't have, so I'm going to install DNS as well. Then DSRM password. Click on next. So that is not our main chapter. Okay, so we'll discuss about ADDS in our ADDS chapter. So that is only for joining the domain. So I'm going to show you how you will join domain through core. Okay, and how you will manage core server remotely. That's why we are going to install ADDS. So that is the location of database and logs and sysvol folder. So I'm going with the default location. Click on next. So it will verify the prerequisite. If all prerequisites pass, then you would be able to install your DNS, your domain controller on this machine. So if you see, we got a green check, so that means we can install. So click on install. So this will be the role will be the configuration will be done, and then your server will be restart automatically. If you remember, we have selected that option, so this will restart automatically. Till then, let's switch to a core server and let's try to ping our first server. So we are getting reply from 10.0.0.1. So let's ping to yes.com. Let's see. So we are not getting reply just because the setup of DNS server is not done. So that's why we're not able to do that. So by typing PowerShell, you can switch to PowerShell from your existing CMD. Okay, so if you see, I have typed here PowerShell and I switch to PowerShell. So I'll show you that how to join domain through PowerShell, and then you would be able to understand that. So this machine is going to be restart. So this will take few minutes. I'm going to pause my session. So our server is ready as a domain controller. You can see here. So command prompt and type here lookup. Okay, so there is some issue. Let me open my DNS. Just lookup. So DNS is working fine. That is okay. So now let's switch to core server. Okay, and ping 10.0.0.1. So getting reply from domain controller and ping the engineers.com. So couldn't find IP config. So DNS service 10.0.0.1, that is okay. Ping dc01.itengineers.com. So we're getting reply from that. Now we are going to add that server into domain controller. So for adding the server, so there's a command add hyphen, yes, add hyphen computer. So hyphen domain name. So domain name is itengineers.com. So when you will press enter, it will ask user ID and password. So user ID is, so username is administrator. So first of all, itengineers slash administrator, password. So this server is added into uh, domain. So now we have to restart this server for getting the effect. So let me run a command, shutdown space /r slash space hyphen slash t, then specify time. After 0 seconds this machine should restart. So now this machine is added into domain controller core server. If you want to verify, you can verify from your domain controller as well. So go to tools, open Active Directory users and computers, and just expand your domain name, which is itengineers.com, expand computers tab. So here you can see core1 is added into computer section. That means the client section. So domain member section. So the computers who are a member of domain, you will get the list of those computers here by default. So now that is fine. So we are signed into our local system. Hmm. Let's config. Let's check. So domain name is itengineers.com. Computer name is co1. So these are the settings. Now if you want to add some more setting, you can add or you can edit those settings from here. So now we are going to manage that core server through a domain controller. Okay, so for doing that, uh, Let me switch to all servers tab. So here, right click on add servers. So I'm going to add that server here, the core server. Click on finds now. So you'll get the list of all the domain servers. So we have to add core server here. Click on add, click on OK. So you can see core 1 is in progress and this will be added here. So that is added and that is online. Now you can manage, you can install roles and features of that server from here. So right click on that core 1 and you can add roles and features to core server from here. Okay, so whatever roles and features you want to install on core server, you can install. So let me choose web server. So you would be able to install web server as well. So we'll do that through PowerShell. Okay, so if you want to access PowerShell, so you would be able to access uh, PowerShell as well. So click on Windows PowerShell. So it will open PowerShell session of core 1 here. So if you will face any difficulty to managing your core server and there's more options to installing Windows Server 2016. You can install, you can choose the direct install through your ISO image through your DVD, or you can use a bootable pen drive. You can use WTS server. You can use deployment through SCCM as well. So there are lots of options for deployment. Now we are connected to core 1. So this is the PowerShell session of core 1. So if you want, you can type here host name command. So it will list the name of your server, which is core 1 IP config. So it shows the IP address of that server. That means we are connected to with core 1 server. Now let me show you some PowerShell commands so you would be able to understand. So let me select this file. Let me open this file into my server. So now I'm going to open PowerShell. PowerShell IC. I'm going to open as the administrator. So we're going to open that file. So I have already created a PowerShell file. So if you need that file, just me, comment me your email ID. So I'll definitely share that file with you. Now, the first command is if you want to enter on that core server through PowerShell. So you need to run the first command. So here you have to specify the name of your server, which is core 1 in my case. So enter PS session, that is the command for accessing your core server remotely on your PowerShell. So just select and run your selection. So you can see we are connected to our core 1 server. Now get features. So we'll see the features, Windows features which are available to that server. So let's run that command. So you would be able to see the list of features, available features. So let me show you. These are the features which are available, which we can install on that server. The installed feature and available features which we can install. So now we are going to install, if you remember, I told you that we will install web server through PowerShell. So there is an option. This is the command install hyphen Windows feature hyphen name. Which feature we are going to install? We are going to install web server with web management services. So let's select and select this line and run that line. So that role is installed. Now the review if you want to check that role is installed or not. Okay, so let me, it will show you, it will list you, that command will list you only the roles and the features which are installed on your server. So here you can see file server is installed, web server is installed. Okay, so by that command you will get the list of the servers which are with the roles which are installed, the features and the roles which are installed on your server. Now next thing is, yeah, so now next thing is just move to your server manager tab and just refresh your tab here. So you will get IAS also here. Yeah, it's because that is installed on core server. Okay, and core server is added into your server manager console, so you will get all the roles and features which here also which are installed on your remote server as well. So let me open here. Mm, tools one. Mm, so the role is installed, service is installed. Similar like that, you can install IES and the different role as well through PowerShell, through graphically as well. Okay, so I hope you understand how to install a role to your remote server. Okay, now these are the services. There are some few commands which you can use for renaming your server from PowerShell. Okay, and for exiting for this session which you have connected, the PS session, if you want to exit that session, you need to use that command exit. Yes, exit have a PS session, so you will exit from the existing session. Okay, so now you would be able to understand how to install and configure and manage your core server, your desktop server. In next lab, I'll show you how to install and configure Nano server on server 2016. I hope that is a good session for you. Okay, so if there is any issue and if there is any query, you can write down your query into comment section, so I'll definitely reply on that. So till then, bye bye guys, take care.